I don't feel alone. We just settled in and it already feels like home.
You're listening to the Feels Like Home podcast with Mike Throne and Marty Ford. Powered by Horizon. This is big. This is gig. Hey everybody, this is Marty and welcome to the Feels Like Home podcast. This week, Mike and I are super excited. We finally got to sit down and talk to our buddy, Cory Breth. Cory is a local Chillicothe, or visit horizonconnects.com/Chillicothe to sign up today. A singer-songwriter that we both really enjoy listening to, but is a good friend. And he wrote a song called Feels Like Home, and that happens to be the name of our podcast. And so we sort of adopted that song as our theme song, and Cory was gracious enough to share that and give us permission to use it. But we really feel like it encompasses what this podcast is all about. But we kind of explore Cory's life growing up in Chillicothe, talk about all of his recordings over the years, and kind of where music has taken him, and find out a little bit more about his family. And it's just a great conversation. We were just joy to have a chance to sit down and chat with a buddy. So this is Cory Breth, and we hope you enjoy. Hey man, good to see you. Thanks for coming in this morning.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, we're like three dudes just sitting around on a Saturday morning drinking coffee.
That's right.
Yeah.
With mics in front of us and headphones on. Welcome to the Feels Like Home podcast.
Yep. We're excited today though, Mike, because
the long anticipated
episode that we've been trying to get on the books for a while. And the elusive Cory Breth is with us today.
Elusive.
And it's one of those things where, like, you and I have a similar life. Mm-hmm. And so when you say, hey man, I don't think I can make it in, I was probably already ahead of you going, gosh, I got to tell Cory that we can't do this because something else has gone, happened. Sure. And his life is the same. Yeah. So we have three guys in the room that live their life similarly when it comes to their schedule and being overcommitted about everything. Because I know that's what happens to you.
Right.
Sure. It happens to me all the time because I do not like to tell people no because I like to make everything happen. And
Unfortunately, my Chillicothe trips have been whirlwinds.
Right.
The last few years. And so
kind of in and out of town, and it's hard.
Yeah. Yeah,
because I remember when you came in December, or it was before that. It was in
November.
You played in at 50 West.
Oh yeah.
Was that
maybe October?
Yeah, October. Yeah. And I think Marty was gone. I think you were in Colorado.
Right.
And I did happen to go to the show.
You did.
And I was super excited about it. I ended up hanging out with a couple of people that I think the wife knows you from when, in high school.
Right.
And they've been going to our church recently. And so I had a night to hang out with them.
That's cool.
It was just a really fun night. Then you did the Christmas show, which I did have to miss because we did not get back from Disney on schedule.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, it's all coming back.
Mike was at Disney.
So it's good to have you back for a third straight month. Well, third straight month almost. So
yeah, it's great. It's great to be here. I'm so glad that you guys have invited me to do this. And I'm also really thankful that you've used one of my songs as the theme song.
I figure we'll get to that at some point in this conversation.
Sure.
Yeah. So we'll start there. I mean, that sounds like a perfect place to start. So I've known Cory for a long time, mostly because of his brother. I think we met, it actually goes back further than that. Mm-hmm. We didn't really know each other, but Cory used to hang out down the street from where I lived up on Grand.
Oh, wow.
Because he hung out with the Zannies.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay.
And so you guys would when you were kids, you guys would
be running around
the neighborhood and playing in the woods back behind my house.
Yeah.
And,
wow.
And so I just remember knowing Zach, and he had come back to town and was getting involved in the soccer program. And he's like, oh yeah, my brother, he plays over there all the time with the Zannies.
Yeah.
So you probably see him
4 days a week type of thing. Like,
right. And so, and I guess I didn't realize that you just kind of lived around a corner. So it made sense that you were hanging out in the neighborhood. But then, through Zach, which we've had on the podcast, it was great to have him on. I got to know you, and then it really came back to you were playing music, and I was playing music, and we just kept kind of bumping into each other.
Right.
Mutual friends, Corey Hall and
That's right.
Tyler Stump, and
Yeah.
so some of that. So yeah, it was kind of cool.
Yeah, Cory was there the night that I saw you at 50 West.
Oh,
as
that's
well.
right. Yeah.
He and his then fiance, but now wife, I believe, right?
Yeah. Cory really started my whole music career. Cory Hall is the reason I'm like
Really?
a recording artist, you know. We met we worked together at community markets in high school, and we didn't really talk much. And then I was asked to do a charity album in 2010, Christmas album, and I didn't have a way to record, but I knew that Cory had a studio, you know, and both of our moms were telling each other, you know, hey, you need to go record some music, and telling their sons, there's another Cory that does music in town. You need to be, you know, the guy that worked at community markets does music, and we'd never connected. And then that charity album, I asked him if we could record. Long story short, we recorded that Christmas song, and then he said, what do you want to do with your music? And I said, I want to, you know, write and record songs. And so that's where we started. And all of 2011, we played like 20 shows together, and that's where Marty and I officially met, was the release show in June of 2011. And you kind of ran sound, and
Yeah, we were just, I mean, we just felt like as a band, we had an opportunity to help somebody out.
Yeah.
I think that came through either your dad or your brother.
sure.
I think they had asked me, and they're like, hey, Cory's want to do the show, but like, and maybe Cory Hall as well.
Sure.
Because he knew that we had some PA. And yeah, that was fun. Like we were excited to help you out and just,
Yeah.
you know, be a part of it. And you know, we always, as a band, we always loved promoting local people.
Yeah.
We just always felt that was important. And not that we had some great big platform, but we had a lot of people help us out just a few years before that with helping us get our gear and things like that. And people would say, hey, can we use your sound system for this? I'm like, heck yeah. Like, it was kind of a gift to us. Like, people helped us get this. We feel like we owe it to the community to help out. So little things like that. But that was a big thing. Like, that was at CHS. At
Yeah, it
the
was.
Auditorium.
It was.
It was a great night.
It was
We had
like
fun.
the beginning of my singer-songwriter career that night.
Yeah.
And we did like a meet and greet. Like I was nobody. I still am nobody, but like that night it was such a bizarre experience for me.
Yeah, but you know what though? Those were good things. You had a lot of questions for me, and I was like, dude, I have no idea. You're like, this is kind of how I treat situations like this.
Right.
Yeah, I remember a specific question you asking me. What do you do when somebody asks for your autograph? I'm like, I still hate that.
Right, right.
You know,
Yeah.
like nobody wants my autograph.
Right.
Like, but it's like, you forget the influence you have on people.
Mm-hmm.
And, so I just said, you just sign it.
Right.
I remember my answer to you was like, don't feel bad about it. You just sign it like you're Michael Jordan or
Right.
whoever.
Right.
You sign it because to that person at that moment, you have an opportunity to make an impression.
Or the guy
Right,
that
right.
carries Michael Jordan's bag, right? Like that's kind of how you feel. You're like, I'm not a celebrity. I'm like the celebrity, like the 3 rungs down guy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. In the same context of what we're talking about, when we met that day, setting up for the show, I kind of had this idea of Marty that like he was this huge deal, and I had heard his name for years. I didn't realize he was seeing me play in his backwoods or whatever for all those years. I had no idea, but I had heard his name a lot, and I had heard of the band, and like I was just really intimidated going into. It was like, okay, Marty Ford's going to help with production. I thought that meant like his team was going to show up, and then the dude was like moving speakers and lights out of a trailer, and I was like, oh, this dude is just like. He's not who I thought he was.
He's a guy.
He's a
guy.
He's like, yeah. So that was
That's
so
funny.
cool to see, like, my perspective shift just right away. And I was like, man, he's just like us. He's moving speakers. And
That's funny.
Yeah.
But see, the same thing happened to me when I met Rick May.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a fan, and all of a sudden I find myself Rick's playing drums in my band for a couple of years.
Yeah.
I'm like, how did that happen? and and he would have the same reaction that I had to you that day, and that you probably have to other people when they get excited about meeting you, and they've been listening to your music, and then they get to put the person and the music together at that moment. And so I would have those conversations with Rick, but dude, DC talk. And he was like, if you say that one more time, I'll punch you in the mouth. That was always his reaction. And he's like, you need to stop because it's not that big of a deal. And then you get into the business and you realize it isn't that big of a deal. Most of these people are you and I. And that's the beauty of when you get a chance to meet a lot of artists. Now there will always be some of those that you walk away disappointed after you meet them. You kind of look up to them for years, and then you have that moment you finally get to meet them, and you're like,
that was it.
Or, oh, I was expecting something completely different.
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
Sometimes people, from my standpoint, the music I play, Christian music, and I'm basically my band is a worship band, right? So kind of everywhere we went and every time we got to meet people, you're kind of coming at it from that stint.
Sure.
And there we met some bands along the way. We got to play with a lot of people, which was a lot of fun. Right. 99%, 95% of them were walking the walk and talking the talk. You got done and you were like, oh, I'm so glad that's who they are. We met one or two bands that I was super disappointed when I got to the end. Yeah. And so, and we always said as a band, one, we're never going to get to that point. And two, if we let somebody have that experience when they meet us, we're done. Yeah. We have not accomplished our goals as a band. We always talked about, what this is about, sound guys. Mm-hmm. You go to a venue, you come in, you meet the person running sound. Right. And sometimes that's a great experience and sometimes it's not. Sure. And I always told my guys, listen, when we show up, we're going to serve that sound guy or girl or whoever it is. Yeah. We're going to serve them just whatever they need. We are going to bend over backwards to take care of them because they can make us sound good or they can make us sound bad. Right. But it really wasn't about that. It was about these guys get a bad rap because most people complain about them because they take good care of their equipment. They don't want you touching stuff, and rightfully so. Sure. But it was amazing how just by going in and saying, hey man, is there anything I can do for you? Hey, you need a cup of coffee? Hey, can we help you move that stuff? Can we help you load up the trailer? And how that turns just the whole situation. So anyway, I don't know how we got down that rabbit trail, but yeah.
Neither do I.
Yeah, but that's going back to how we met. Right. Really,
we were just on the same team.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So that was an exciting night when you had that, when your music release party and all your family was there and your friends were there. And it was just a fun night to be a part of it. I felt privileged to be a part of it. Yeah. And, all the guys in the band, and I'm not sure that everybody was there, but Luke was there and John Mark was there. And
Dan Ramey showed up. Yeah. He was a part of the intro track. Right. He introduced me with his amazing voice. Cory had asked him to do that. And it was a really cool community experience.
Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah. So was that your first album to yourself or was that, so what year is that?
So 2011, we put 6 songs out. Okay. It was an EP and, we basically had spent a few months recording it and then wanted to do a proper release show. So that was the release show for that at the high school, Chillicothe High School. And that has since been taken down and buried just because I wasn't happy with my vocal performance. So I have a handful of things that were recorded and buried.
We all have that. So
I was going to say,
yeah, right. So that was the first.
If you go on Spotify, you'll see that 2013 is your first release. Yeah. In that sense. So how does that one come about? And is that some of the same songs but re-recorded, or how did that work out?
So that one, I had just started teaching. So I'm a Spanish teacher in Tip City, just north of Dayton, and that was my first year of teaching. I decided to record my first record in my first year teaching, and that was silly, but I basically I had written some songs, and I had a few college friends write lyrics. So I kind of started out with like a bunch of co-writers that didn't know anything about music that just would write lyrics and hand them to me, where I would tell them like, I want to write a song about this thing. And they would write some things down and I would turn it into a song. That's kind of where I started. I just wasn't very confident in my lyric writing, which I'm still really not. I don't know if I'll ever.
Probably doesn't change for a lot of people. Right. I bet.
Yeah. So
it's hard.
Yeah.
People have no idea how hard it is to write a song.
Yeah. It's very hard, but it's also super fun and rewarding. And it's like, I love it, but that's kind of where it started. Just writing with friends from college, and actually Corey Hall, he's been woven through all of this the last, 12 years. But we sat down with Driving Blind, which is the title track to that album that we're talking about. Mm-hmm. And he helped me arrange it, from lyrics that one of my college buddies had sent me. And so, that just rolled into, I feel like once I get like 1 or 2 or 3 songs, that's something that hasn't really changed over the years. It's like, once I get a few songs under my belt, the rest of it starts to roll, into a full album. And so that one happened quickly. And then there was a guy named Andy Fletcher who cut me a really good deal, and we recorded in his attic. So, I've done a lot of attic and basement recordings over the years, but that one, that's where that one kind of birthed from. And so I tried to replicate the Chillicothe release show from 2011 at Tip City 2013. So I played Tippecanoe High School, where I work. I played a release show there and tried to kind of replicate what we did, but a little bit more stripped down. So, that's that one.
Yeah. And then you record also in 2016, I believe. Because
yeah, you're right there. Yeah. That's my second full-length album called Conditions of the Heart, and I recorded that one in Cleveland in an apartment, and then finished it at my home where we lived in Sydney at the time. So we did two recording weekends. My buddy Phil Herzl and he had a film degree from Bowling Green, but he did a lot of music production and was in a lot of bands, and I just wanted a different take, and his music style is super unique. So I asked him like, hey, can we do an album and sit down and really work through that? And so I went to Cleveland one weekend. He worked on it for a couple months and then came down to me, and we finished it together. So my recording process has been different for each one, but that one was probably the most unique because we did 2 sessions, basically 4 days, but it was just super short, and the amount of time that I had my hands on it, I guess.
It's interesting that you say that one was the most unique, because you put out an album during a pandemic. So, because Wide Awake comes out in October of 2020, right?
2020, yeah.
So how does that one come together? And
okay, yeah, sure. That's probably, yeah, that's true. I played, I toured with a band called Edward and Jane. It's a husband and wife duo who is no longer a duo. They're a married couple still, but they've since disbanded. But I did some touring dates with them in 2018, and the guy, this is kind of tying in with what we were talking about, the guy that was running sound opened up a studio in Nicholasville, Kentucky, right outside of Lexington. And basically he was, during my sound check, he was like, man, I would love to work with you. I want to give you a free day in my new studio. And I was like, okay, let's get it on the calendar. Yeah. Usually when someone offers something, I'm like, let's do it, Yeah. And so I said yes, and I knew nothing about the guy, but I was like, let's do it. And his name's Cole Clark. And so we basically sat down and recorded a song in a day. It's called Kentucky, which is on Wide Awake. And I loved the process of that so much that I just asked him if we could do more and more. And then a songwriter named Will Solomon was sharing studio space with Cole, and he hopped on the project, and he's this master songwriter and producer. He's next level. And so I ended up asking him to be a part of the project as well. And he helped me co-write a lot of the songs that are on Wide Awake: Morning Dove, Feels Like Home, And Kentucky, he helped with arrangement of Kentucky. In color, he's all over the project, and he played acoustic on a lot of the songs. And he's a dear friend of mine now. So yeah, I ended up saying, okay, I love how this production turned out. I have to do more. And then it just snowballed into a whole album. And I had no money for it. So we ended up crowdfunding $7,500 kind of during that calendar year of like 2018 to 2019. And I did probably 9 days down there, like 9 13-hour days. I mean, we were up till 3 a.m. doing vocal dubbing and stuff. And that was probably the most like, I basically, decided, okay, I need to actually spend time in a studio, because I've never, Cory had a studio in his basement, but it wasn't like paying, he did a lot of it. He was just generous and let me use the studio and like basically manage me and produce me and all that stuff, just to get started. And, but this was like proper studio time. I was paying like per day and that sort of thing. So it's probably the most like traditional way to do it, I guess. And I was paying Will to produce it. And so we crowdfunded and we finished it. I was gonna release it March of 2020, and then my wife got pregnant with our daughter Winnie, and she's amazing. She's my world. Yep. And we decided, okay, probably shouldn't release this big record and have a baby at the same time and do all this. So we pushed it back. Thankfully,
learn that lesson, but when you recorded the first album, your first year of teaching,
right?
Like maybe put things in order first, right?
That's right. So we had Winnie in March of 2020, March 26th, and it was wild times. But then we decided to release it in October. October is my favorite month, and so we put that out. And I was really waiting on the vinyl. I pressed vinyl for this one, and because we had extra funds, and so I thought I was going to get the vinyl in August, and I didn't get it until December of 2020. It's super backed up, and so I don't know why I said that part, but yeah. Anyway, that's Wide Awake.
Well, it's funny. I think a lot of people don't realize there's a large sector of people that do music that have to either crowdfund or sell their plasma and their cars and
really, really, for sure,
to put the money into studio time to do an album and to get it done. And that, I think it says a lot about your process that, you're continually inspired, but at the same time, it's sort of like, I'm going to go out there and try to solicit as much as I can to try to get this dream put together,
Right.
It's a lot of hustle for sure.
Yeah. I want to go back to and say, because I want to make sure that I'm like talking about how much Chillicothe means to me. Like that's just, I want to be really intentional about that, because that's what this podcast is about, what this city means to us. Right. And so this project wouldn't have happened again. Cory Hall, he's going to be like shaking his head at me about this, but we had some pretty excessive breathing in like 3 of the tracks for Wide Awake and for the acoustic track. And I didn't realize it till later on. And I was getting like final drafts of songs, and I was like, holy smokes, there's a lot of breathing that we missed, and we need to retrack this acoustic, but there was no way to do it. So we ended up sending it to Cory, and he knocked it out of the park.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it just, he's just been a part of my music journey from the beginning.
Yeah, I think from the beginning he's seen your vision and has a share of that vision of where you wanted to be and where you wanted to go. And you find it, it's what friends do, man.
Yeah.
They do what you need them to do, and they always come through. So I think that you have a special relationship there. So yeah, don't ever feel bad about bragging about him. But you're right. He will shake his head and go blow it off.
Right.
Because that's what friends do. It's what happens.
So, other than the fact that you don't feel real super confident about being great at lyrics and writing lyrics, how do you think I'm going to throw out 2013 because that feels like the one that you had to do while you were in your first. How do you feel like you're musically you've evolved And what do you like about what you're doing now? And if you could go back, you'd go, you know what, I'd tweak this and this.
Yeah. I think I started with really almost like grasping at straws. You know, I wanted to sing for people from the, you know, that really hasn't changed. I still want to sing for people and share my voice and share my gift and share my songs. But I think in the beginning I was really just like, how can I have original songs? You know, I was playing a lot of cover gigs and I wasn't necessarily like, I hate playing covers. I love playing covers, but I just was like, I really want to have my own song. So however I can get that done is what, you know, what I'm going to do. So, and then I think really in 2017, I was having a conversation with my pastor and I was talking about like, I was asking him about, you know, am I doing the right thing by like sharing
the dogs? They come in every episode. You can count on them.
If you'd have left the fan on it, we probably never heard them.
You're probably right. That's all good.
But we basically were just talking. I was just like, man, am I doing this right? I feel like I'm just self-promoting and not doing it. I'm trying to point to the Lord, but I feel like I'm just doing a lot of pointing at me and towards me. And he's like, I think as long as the Lord is in it and it's obvious and like, you're not just saying like, I'm the best. And then that's what it should be about. Your song should be about that. And that's kind of the revelation I had is like, okay, if my life is about, you know, if my life should be about the Lord and who he is, and maybe my song should be that way too. And that kind of started rolling into like, okay, the platform that I don't have a huge platform, but I should be using it to glorify him and to really, you know, encourage people. And I guess there was a shift that happened in 2017 that was like, man, I shouldn't just try to get songs out to get songs out. I should say something with these songs, and share with what I believe and share, truth, and encourage and challenge and inspire people. So I made a mission statement and that's part of it. And so that really made a shift. And then I had some unfortunate things happen to me in 2016 that kind of songs just started pouring out of me too. And I couldn't really help it. And I think that's where I got the confidence to like, just put out what I was experiencing and that sort of thing. So
yeah, your heart was in it, right?
Yeah,
like
that's the shift.
You engage the heart and the mind and the hands, I guess.
Yeah.
Then everything starts to click.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm trying to get at is that I wasn't really sharing my heart until that happened.
Yeah.
That I realized, okay, I need to be.
Yeah. You make the shift from, I just want to get a song out to, I want to get my voice out and let people hear the story I'm living out. Right. So yeah, that's a big shift because it is early on. It's like, man, I just need a song. I need a song.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want a song that we can call our own. And no, I get that. It's hard. Like you said, it's really difficult to write songs. Mm-hmm. I think sometimes people think that it's really easy. And there's a level of vulnerability that you have to find.
Right.
And like with this last album, like I saw, I've listened to you from day one, like that original release.
Right.
And listen, it was good. Like it's always easy to look back at your stuff and go, oh God, just because you hear all the things that other people don't hear. But I heard a lot of promise in those early recordings, and I was like, oh, I can't wait as you experience more life and things happen to you, what comes out in your music. Right. And this last album, man, it's heavy.
Spectacular.
It's heavy in my playlist all the time. And I know that sometimes it'll pop up in my playlist and I snap a picture and send it to you. I'm like, hey dude, I'm singing with you.
That's always an encouragement, man.
Yeah. Thank you. And I send that because I've had people do that to me, and I know how that makes me feel. And just, it's how it makes me go grab the guitar again. Right.
Yeah. Right.
And so it's like, okay, so what I am doing does mean something to somebody. Right. So yeah, but Mike and I have had many conversations when you released that album. And like I bought the vinyl because I wanted it on vinyl because I have a collection and I'd love to listen.
That's cool.
And I would be listening and I'm like, dude, I'm listening to Cory's record again, and dang, this thing is so good. And when we were talking about the podcast, like trying to come up with a name for the podcast, and I was listening to that song, and we'd always been like all around that title, Feels Like Home. We were talking about things
trying to figure it out.
Like, we were like, you know, love being in Chillicothe, or like what? Oh, wait.
I still have the list of really bad names that we came up with.
That's awesome. They brainstormed of all these names.
20, 30 names somewhere in there.
And I was headed to work, and we were getting ready to record our first episode. And I'm like,
we still don't have a name is what I said.
Yeah. He said, dude, we still don't have a name. I'm like, I took a picture of listening to your album in my car. I'm like, no, I think we have the name. I need to see if Cory will let us use the song.
Yeah.
Because it's really an honor. It encompassed like what we wanted this podcast to feel like, you know, to talk about our home. And we wanted people to come in and make themselves at home, you know, when they sit down and talk to us. And that has happened. So our podcast has kind of encompassed that song and took ownership of it, and it kind of belongs to us in a way.
Yeah. It's great.
Like we take ownership and we're proud of it. And, you know, every time we published one, we like, this is our buddy Cory that wrote this song, and
I love it.
Thank you for letting us use it. Here's a link to go listen to it yourself, because this isn't just the best song off the record. The record as a whole is fantastic.
And top to bottom.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I will say this, you know, like, especially when we live down here, I have a little Bluetooth speaker that I put above the sink, and I would wash dishes or clean the kitchen and play music. And I remember playing that song, and my son walks in, who, you know, my son's a 21 Pilots fan and things like that. He comes in, he goes, "Who's this?" I said, "Well, this is my friend Cory." Like, he's not my friend really. I don't really even know him at that point, but I was like,
sure.
My friend Cory put out an album. He goes, "That's pretty cool." Not really my thing. He turns around and walks away. I was like, geez.
Shoot.
A couple days later, I hear him in there going, "Run away." I was like,
that's so cool.
I win. Cory wins.
That's right.
That's right.
So, you know, the impact, I think, is really kind of interesting to watch, because I think that's the greatness of the album, is that for a guy that's 50, we'll be 54 this year, and an 11-year-old kid, there's stuff there that you can pick up on, and really the hook gets you.
That's so cool. That's really neat.
It's really neat.
Yeah. I remember sending it to my kids and saying, "Hey, check out Cory's new record." And I have kids who have grown up with music, like me playing music their whole life, pretty much. And so they are pretty picky about what they listen to. And they like to be those kids that are like, "I'm listening to this. Nobody else is listening in the world knows about this artist, but I'm listening to them. They're my favorite."
Yeah.
And, you know, my daughter Maddie is that way. And she gets it honest.
Sure.
And she texted me back. She's like, "Dad, this is fantastic."
That's awesome.
And I'm like, "I know. I wouldn't have recommended it if I didn't think you would like it." And she's like, "This is Cory?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, it's so, like, there's a maturity to it that she recognized compared to the earlier stuff, because we've always been, you know, around the house, we play music all the time, and they've heard all your other stuff. and so she just recognized the maturity of it. And one of the things, before I forget, I want to throw it out there. The beauty of this record and all the other things, and even the ones you've buried, is that for the rest of Winnie's life, she will always have your voice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's really neat.
And one of the things about this podcast, like, that I've thought about, and we're processing a death in the family right now, Jen's father, and he was just an amazing man. And we were all last night going through our phones, like making sure we save all the voicemails that he left us. Right. Because then you've got that voice to always go back to. Man. And so one of the things with my music for me was, I want my kids, if they miss their dad 50 years from now, they can throw that awful record that we recorded on, but it doesn't matter, because it just leaves something for them.
Oh, absolutely.
So like, what you are leaving for your family is amazing stuff.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
that's really cool.
And being your friend, I'm super proud of it. for you. It's just, it's so good. The record's so good, man.
That's really neat that you guys have kind of, you call it your own, the song. And it's funny because I have to share this because I've listened to the podcast since it launched, obviously. But sometimes I turn it on. I want to say there's been 4 or 5 times that I've turned an episode on and the song kicks on and I'm like, oh, I forgot. I'm just excited to see the guest or hear the episode or whatever it is. And I'm like, oh, I forgot. Not because it's not important to me. I really love what you guys have done here in highlighting what's going on in the city, bringing in amazing guests, which I feel like may be a daunting and kind of an overwhelming thing that there's so much left, right? You've done how many episodes, but there's
we're approaching 40. So
and that's a drop in the bucket, which is really super exciting, but I'm just always excited to hear. And I think this is just an amazing concept, and I'm just really proud of you guys. And I didn't realize we were recording in the beginning, but I wanted to hit pause before we even started and just say that this has been a blessing, and I can speak for the listeners that this podcast has been a blessing to the listeners in this city, and I think it's amazing. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
This is big. Horizon Fiber Internet is ready.
Let them get you hooked up and power your Wi-Fi network
with the speed and reliability that only a 100% fiber network can do.
Horizon is ready to help you do what you do better. With real people, real rates, and a real service.
Connect with them today, and the first month is free, plus no contracts and no data caps. Call 740-772-8331
or visit horizonconnects.com/Chillicothe to sign up today.
Let me just tell you something. You were talking about that conversation that you had with your pastor, and I tell people this a lot of time. There are a lot of people that spirituality is a big deal for them. They're Christians and they don't play Christian music. And one of the ones that I always come back to is U2. They did a song on Psalm 40.
Really?
And play it on an album and play it regularly in concert. And, I'm sure a lot of people recognize it as being biblical, but who does that? There's just, when you're a band of that size and,
right.
Immense talent and at the pinnacle of the profession, to still do this song that you recorded in one of your first 2 albums.
Right.
It's kind of an odd thing. Mm-hmm. So I say all that to say this, you don't have to record Psalm 40 to be for people to understand and recognize there's something deeper to Cory than just playing guitar and writing lyrics, And I think you don't do it in every song on Wide Awake, but the times that you do it, super timely, super on point.
Wow.
And really there are a couple times that it spoke to me. I mean, October 2020 is when this comes out. In December of 2020, my father passes. And so I drive down there listening to the album.
Wow.
And things are speaking to me through that. So I just wanted you to hear that from me because it's super important.
Wow.
And I think, listen, 100 people listen to it. Maybe 99 don't have that story, right? Or maybe 79 have it or whatever.
Right.
But, music should mean different things to different people at different times.
Right.
And, I think what you're doing has just been such a great illustration of how God can work in you to play great music that speaks to people at different times.
Man, that's really neat. And I felt that when making this too. I knew the Lord was in it, and I felt like, man, Will Solomon really taught me that when we were co-writing these songs. He's like, these songs are bigger than just you playing them, playing them out or whatever it is. Like you're saying something in these songs, and it's beyond you. And so I think that's evident throughout the record. I mean, not to praise my own project, but I'm just it's really cool to hear those stories and how they've resonated with people. And I think it's because I was pointing instead of making it about myself. And I really hope that comes through when someone listens to it, I say it directly too. Like you said, it's kind of woven in there, and I say it directly too. And like anywhere in between.
Yeah.
It's direct, and I've been doing that at my shows too, is like trying to use my live shows as a way to really minister to people. And I'll play a song like I Hope You See or Anywhere in Between, and afterwards I say, I'd love to talk to you after the show and kind of unpack that. I don't really have time to explain the gospel for 12 minutes or whatever it is, like mid set, but I would love to talk to you after the show. And that's what has been really cool about these songs, is like it's really opened up the conversation at the live shows for people. So I didn't expect that either.
Yeah, I think you have an opportunity and a responsibility because of your faith. Like we all feel that responsibility of sharing, like what makes us different. And I think that like you do a nice job of that. And you have a unique opportunity to meet people where they're at, all walks of life. And, sometimes you're just, we talk about this all the time, but sometimes you're just planting that seed and that thought in their mind of like, and I really like his music, and gosh, there's something else in there. And then they start that exploration and like that was your responsibility for that moment. Right. And then maybe a year down the road, they come to another show, and you have that conversation after the show that you invited them to, a year before. Yeah. So like, don't take that lightly. Right. Obviously. Right. And like, that's the beauty of you don't, it's really important to you. Phone is blowing up.
So you also got to do Wide Awake live.
Oh yeah.
Which is always fun. I love live albums. There's something about them that brings the music just a touch, just takes it to a different notch and a different level. Yeah. So talk about how that kind of came about, and just how, because there's some challenges with recording a live album, I know. Yeah.
So actually, the live album we put out in this past September, and it was actually the release show of Wide Awake.
Okay.
And I had a friend of mine, like really last minute, say, hey, can we live record this? And I was already feeling a lot of pressure, Yeah. and just like, it was the beginning of October of 2020. And like, I was just like, should we even do this show and that sort of thing? So I was having a lot of anxiety about the show. And then I said yes to a live recording. But I also was thinking like, man, if it's not, okay to put out, or if it's not good enough to put out, then we just won't. But I also really wanted to capture it, just to have it. So that was kind of my mentality once I got over the fact that we were going to live record. It's like, okay, at least I'll have this and no one else will, or kind of that sort of thing. So we did, I think only one song we did a retake of, which was Morning Dove. Okay. I could not get there's a wicked chord in that song, and I could not get my fingers to hit the right chord. And everybody was so gracious, and they were just like, after the show, we came back to it, and full disclosure, we recut it together, and it was kind of cool because there's a sing along part in there. Yeah. And I had time to teach everybody because I did so many takes of the song. Yeah. So everybody was right on with it. So that's been really cool. Just to do that song, Morning Dove, has just been really cool to share live, and people have really, sung along, which is kind of the anthem of the song. It's like singing this song of pain together. Yeah. And so actually even Vinyl Coffee, I played last night at Vinyl Coffee in Washington Courthouse, and it was a room full of strangers. I mean, I knew two people there going into it, and everybody sang along at the end. That's cool. And it's just really cool that people, sing along.
One of my favorite live concert experiences everywhere is I saw Bare Naked Ladies in Columbus. Yeah. And during the song, Ed Robertson, who's the lead guy, plays the wrong chord. And at the end he goes, And if you were wondering at home, out there, that was the Wrong Chord remix that we just did. So
yes.
So you should have just called it the Wrong Chord remix.
Right. Exactly. It was ugly though, man. I'm telling you, it was like, it was so bad.
I would have never known the difference probably. So
yeah.
You also did, you wrote a Christmas song and then you put out a Christmas album.
Yes.
Some people in this room do not like playing Christmas music all that much. So I'm curious about,
it's not, I don't like playing Christmas music. I don't like leading Christmas music at church.
Right. It's
this
a beast.
One of my favorite things to chide Marty about.
Yeah.
I love Christmas music. I don't like leading Christmas music.
I agree.
Yeah. But
different. Writing your own is a little different. So
right.
I've been very open about that at church. So now everybody's like, "Hey, Christmas is over. Are you doing okay now?" I'm like,
or leading up to it. Are you ready for Christmas, Marty?
Yeah. We'll be sensitive about this.
That's right. Cory and I in 2011 had started. We released a Christmas project that got buried, like the first project. We buried 2 projects in 2011 because I was sick when we recorded the vocals for that one. So. And that was kind of a dark cloud hanging over me for a long time. And I would play these Christmas events and people would be like, "Do you have any Christmas songs out?" And I'm like, "No," just for years. It was like a decade of just, no, I don't have any Christmas music. So it was time. And so I worked with a guy called Wade Winrick, and he's in Nashville, Tennessee. And he came up to me in Tip City for 3 days this past July. And we did most of the song, like the bones of the songs. We did 6 songs. And then after that, he produced them for a couple months, and then we put them out.
Yeah.
And then I played 4 Christmas shows, and Marty was a part of the Chillicothe show. And you did one Christmas song, right? You did a Christmas song.
We did 2.
You did 2. Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I was not there, but I remember hearing that. What's that?
It said "Born a King" was one of them.
Yeah.
Which not many people know, which is why I sang it. They couldn't judge me on it.
But that was super fun. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to close out without giving you an opportunity. You're also a husband, and you mentioned being a dad. Honestly, the 3 of us understand those are our biggest responsibilities as men.
Sure.
You have a gorgeous family.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And a great life in Tip City. I will also tell you that Liz Sonnenstein, who is the chamber president in, I brought you up to her at a meeting that she's at. She's like, "Oh my gosh, we love Cory so much." I said, "Well, it's my job to steal him from you and bring him back to his hometown." She said, "Oh, I will fight you on that one." So
that's great. Yeah.
You are beloved in Tip City, and I want you to talk a little bit about your family and your life there.
Sure. Like I said, I teach Spanish. This is my 10th year teaching Spanish at the high school there, and we live in Tip City. We moved there 5 years ago, and we just love it. We put our roots down pretty quickly. Like once I graduated, my wife is from Anna, and it's about a 30-minute drive from Tip City. And so it was kind of this like perfect in between of our parents' houses. It's a little farther for me to drive. It's like a 90-minute drive to get here, but it just felt right to be in that area. And so I took the job right out of college, and we decided to move there in 2016. And we just love it. We have some amazing friends, and that's what feels like home is about, is just like trying to find home that's not your home.
Yeah, I agree.
and feeling unsure of it, but then feeling welcomed. And thankfully we feel welcomed, and we have for, since we've been there. So we have some dear friends there that have really supported what we're doing, our ministry and my music. And then we also were worship leaders at a church in Piqua, which is a little town, and our church is in the middle of nowhere. And we helped plant that in 2015. And so we lead every Sunday, and we have a few people that have been stepping up into roles to help serve us as well. And so we're not leading every Sunday, I should say, but we are the worship leaders there. So, and then, I'm trying to think that the community has been really supportive. Like you said, like all the, the chamber and the downtown, like it's just been amazing.
Yeah.
And Troy as well.
I want to blatantly steal that porch concert thing they do.
Oh yeah. The Troy,
Tip City?
Troy
does that. That's right.
Yeah. I think, Troy and Tip, it's funny because they're kind of rivals.
Yeah.
They're like rivaling towns, but they, they both have embraced what we're doing. And I've played pretty much every place in both of those downtowns. And I think Kathy Roeder was there at the Chamber conference as well. She came to one of the Christmas shows and she said, "Hey, I met Mike Throat." I'm like, whoa, that's crazy.
That's
funny. So both of those communities have really, it's just been amazing that they've been so kind and welcoming and embraced us, and from not being, because like most of my students don't really know anything about Chillicothe, right. And I didn't know anything about Tip City. Sure. So it's kind of fun to like talk about Chillicothe and tell them what it's like and that sort of thing. So, but I do also want to say that, I come back here, I try to play here once a quarter. I try to play my hometown once a quarter. I love coming back, and I try to see my family once a month, and it's really hard to be away. I love this town and I love my family, and I'm the only one that doesn't live in Chillicothe, and it's just really hard to be away. And I'm not that far away, but I always feel welcomed, and there's always people that show up that I know or haven't seen in a long time, and they still show up, whether it's playing at, a brewery or Paper City Coffee or whatever it is. But one of the other things I wanted to say on this show is it's been amazing since I graduated high school, of all the people that I didn't know or that I connected with, maybe as a kid or something, but I really didn't know them, and they've sewn into my life, and they've let me play in their coffee shop, or they've supported me. They've come to a show and bought merch, and they're not people that were in my life in high school.
Yeah.
And it's just been really cool. In my mind for so long, I was like, I'm only ever going to see my old high school buddies, but that's not been the case. It's been new people that have sewn into this. So I just want to say thank you to the city, I guess, because it's been truly amazing. So it's an amazing community. And I think, I hate being away, like I said, but I feel like I never leave, it's like, it's always, it's a part of me. It's a part of who I am. And I'm proud to be a Chillicothe native.
Well, and we're proud of you.
That's right.
And not just because you gave us a song.
I appreciate
it was a theme song. We certainly appreciate it. But, I didn't know anything of your older catalog until Wide Awake came out, and we listened to it I think you sent me the link first.
Yeah.
And then I started exploring everything else. And I'm so happy that we were finally able to do this, because it's just such a great kick to get to know a little bit more of your story and hear how your process goes, and just your heart for what you're doing and where you're at. I tell people all the time, part of my job is to keep people here and make it attractive for people to stay.
Yeah.
But it's also cool when other people leave and they put down roots there and they make that community thrive, but then still remain attached to here. And you're one of those folks. So we're super excited that you're still enjoying us here. And
we appreciate your dual citizenship there.
That's right. It does feel that way. It does feel that way. But I do feel guilty when I'm listening to this podcast. Everybody's like, I'm here. Like I started here. I'm all about this. And I'm like, I'm all about this community too, but it's just,
Yeah. No, well,
it all happens so fast.
Going back to the song though, like you talked about what that song was about as you being there.
Yeah.
And even though it wasn't home, it feels like home. Right. And we highlight people, and a lot of the people we've had on this podcast are not originally from Chillicothe.
Right. Yeah.
But yet they came here and it felt like home for them.
Right. I'm one of those people, really.
And that's why they stayed.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's like, it's the perfect song for us to use as our intro and our out, because it really does encompass what we're trying to portray. We have a community that people love because it's all they've ever known. And then we have people who discover it and fall in love with it, and it becomes home because it's just it can be a special place.
Yeah. And I want to add too, we talked about how Marty and I know each other. I want to talk about how I know Mike.
That's right.
I don't really know Mike, but one time Marty and Mike were going to go to a Mumford & Sons show.
That's right.
And Mike had an extra ticket, and he offered it to me, and I went, and it was amazing.
Yes. we had a great night that night.
That was a fun. That was a crazy night for you though, because you witnessed a wreck and
oh my gosh, yeah.
I mean, but that's again, I think one of the great guiding principles of my life has been how relationships have been made over music.
Yeah.
I've had occasion where I was the only person that I knew going to a show with 5 other people, and great friendships have started out of that. And so, when we had the extra ticket, I was like, find somebody. I don't care. Find somebody. He's like, all right, Cory Breth's going to take it. I was like, great. Don't know him, but great. Let's have a good time,
That's
and
right.
so, and we did.
Yeah, it was
a great night.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
like, he loves music. So, and I know that he loves Mumford, and I know that he probably doesn't have the opportunity to go because he's just so busy. So this is perfect.
Yeah, it was great.
That was a fun night.
I was glad you were able to go. And I'm glad that's how things started.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Super cool. Awesome.
Well, again, thanks for being on today. I know you're going to be playing some shows. Folks, if you're listening, you have the opportunity to see Cory when he comes back, or go onto his website and find out where he is, and travel to Tip City if you really want to. I don't care.
Yeah.
Come out and see him, because you'll have a good time. The music is great. Hopefully he'll be putting out an album every year. No, I'm kidding. But seriously, if you have the opportunity, go to Spotify, wherever you get your music, and take a listen. I'm sure you'll be wanting to go to a show pretty soon. So
Thank you.
Yeah, then go hit his website and buy some merch or something.
Exactly.
help him out.
Thank you, guys.
You're listening to the Feels Like Home podcast with Mike Throne and Marty Ford. Powered by Horizon. This is big. This is gig.
It feels a little strange, but I don't feel alone. We just settled in and it all